How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to talk about how to create any life that you desire. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep, healing, meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. Let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. You can create any experience that you desire. And I'm going to use a negative example of this to show you that it's possible. If you know somebody that's been through a very traumatic event, maybe they went to war, maybe they had something happen in life, a car accident, they lost somebody, but something extremely devastating happened to them. And they were never the same after. Whether the light was gone in their eyes, they didn't like the same jokes anymore, they didn't do the same things, whatever it was, they were completely altered from that moment. If something can alter you, you can alter you as well. You can alter yourself in any direction that you truly desire. Now, the world may try to bring you back to your baseline because you've been operating in a bit of a homeostasis up until this point, unless you've been very specific in what you are, meaning your frequency, your alignment, your essence, then you are operating in your baseline frequency that is most comfortable for you. It doesn't mean it's what you should be. It doesn't mean it's not what you shouldn't be. It's just what is most comfortable for you. Maybe it's your highest height that you achieved in another lifetime. Maybe it's what you believe is most possible. Maybe it's what others have said for you is doable. Whatever it is, whatever you go to when things get hard, when you give up, when you give in, when you let go, that version of you is your baseline. You can, of course, go lower, but you can absolutely go higher. If you want to change, if you want, and it can be a positive change, a negative change, if you want to make a change, your belief in who you are has to be unshakable, meaning your name, your actions, and your thoughts. You have to abide by what you call yourself and what that means. The name, the actions, and the thoughts. See, the actions you take matter if they're aligned with the thoughts. It's so easy to lower your thoughts to your actions. It's much more difficult to raise your actions to your thought because the physical world will test your actions. It'll also test your thoughts and your mind, but physically, that's where you're going to feel the most pressure first. See, when you make a change of who you want to be, you have to be that unconditionally. Everything in your life right now, the bad and the good, resonates with your current pattern. It fits with your current pattern. You're comfortable with it, and it's comfortable with it. If you start to make a change, you're going to see friction in both what's good and in what's bad. Because they resonate, it doesn't mean you can't add more what's good. It also doesn't mean you can't add more than what's bad. But you have to be specific and unrelenting in your pattern. So when you start making this change, maybe someone that you cared about that was close to you and was your biggest supporter, all of a sudden they become the resistance. Or it's the person that was hurtful, the ones that bring you down. They become the resistance. Whatever it is, the world is going to present resistance because you're changing. You are no longer going to fit where you've been seated. And so when you tell yourself, I am this, no matter what it is, and then you always take action beyond it, you will become it. The most famous singer in the world, whoever that would be in the different timelines, isn't the best singer in the world. They're not the best performer in the world, but their belief and their actions and their thoughts are. There is somebody that's a better basketball player than whoever you think's the best. They just didn't have the belief and actions in alignment long enough and powerful enough to be who you all think is the best. In any profession, in any aspect of life, there is somebody that could have been more. There is somebody that could have been way more. But if they don't have the belief and they don't have the actions, they can't become it because the friction of what it takes to become something is strong. It's tension, and time under tension is where growth happens. It's where strength happens. So when you decide that I am a millionaire and I receive millions of dollars a year, if that's one of the funnels, the filters that you put in your mind, you have to think and act in alignment always to that. And that's difficult because it's not comfortable to make those decisions. If you say I am healthy and I make healthy decisions and that becomes the filter in which you experience the world, it gets uncomfortable because the food that used to comfort you, you can't have anymore if it's not aligned with that. Maybe some of the places you used to go to eat, some of the people you used to hang out with, you can't anymore if it doesn't align with that. And the friction, the tension from that builds. But you have to keep pushing. And it's not that the tension gets less, you will eventually get stronger. You see, 100 pounds is weight. It's a solid weight. It's 100 pounds no matter who picks it up. But for some people, picking up 100 pounds is easy. Some people cannot pick up 100 pounds. But the 100 pounds is the 100 pounds, meaning whatever it is that you're going through, that resistance won't change. That pattern isn't going to change, or it doesn't need to change. You will grow stronger. So the harder you push through something, the more strength you'll build. The more times you practice lifting 100 pounds, the easier it becomes to lift 100 pounds. Before you know it, you're lifting 150, then 200 pounds. And then when you go back to the 100, it then becomes your warm-up. You see, the harder you put your mind, or the more locked in you put into these things, the more you'll become it. When you go into the military, they beat into your mind a belief system to make you a great soldier. You become that. They mold you into that. But you can do the same for yourself. You can become the general, the commander of your frequency. If you separate yourself and you look at yourself externally and say, okay, well, this is Henry. This is how Henry's currently thinking. This is how Henry's currently actions. This is what his day looks like. If someone else was to explain to me those actions, those thoughts, and those days, what would I think of that person? Would that person be what I want to be? And if the answer is no, then look at yourself and change that. Are you going to negative thoughts when things get difficult? Well, then that's what you are. The shorter time span you can beat, that doesn't mean you won't have negative reactions sometimes. You will. But if you can rebound faster, then you start moving that frequency. It's not about being perfect all the time. It's about having a specific frequency that you dedicate yourself to. And when something knocks you out of it, you do everything in your power to be that and stronger. Again, you see, when you lift that 100 pounds for the first time, you might fail. You might drop it. But then you go back to training over the week. And then you try it again. You might fail. You might drop it. Then you go back to training again. And then you do it. Then you go back to training. Then you do it twice. Then you go back to training. You do it 3 times, 4 times, 10 times. You see, it's not about winning every single time. It's not about doing it perfectly every single time. It's about showing up constantly so that way the universe knows, unless it kills you, you are not going to be something different. You are going to show up with a positive attitude. You're going to show up vision far. You're going to show up and work hard in alignment with those things. The universe will mold because you are the creator of that experience. And I'm not talking about in your human form. I'm talking about energetically. See, do you want abundance? Then feel abundant. Because if you don't feel abundant, it doesn't matter how much stuff you have. You want joy? Then bring joy. Be the finder of joy. It doesn't matter how much joy comes to you. If you want peace, then become the peace because it doesn't matter how much peace is around you. If it's not within you, you will find it nowhere. The world is not as it is. It is always as you are. And that's why the pattern that you think, the pattern that you act matters because that's the frequency. That is how you dial into a frequency. You are an observer and a creator of your experience. If you want to dial into something, you have to become it. This physical land, this physical body, this physical place requires movement and thought to be in alignment to create it. And the movement's not the same for everybody. If you are dedicating yourself to be something when your thought is that thing and then your action is your best portrayal of that action, then that's alignment. It's not what someone else is. It's yours only because you are the creator of the experience. It's why two people can watch a movie and take away two different things. It's why two people can read something and take away two different things. It's why two people can do something and feel different about it because they have their experience, you have yours. Do not try to live through theirs. Do not try to emulate theirs. Just have your vision, have your purpose, have your mind, and align it to what it is that you desire. When you can say out loud the way you think, the way you act day in, day out, then you will know who you are and you can change it. A positive mindset is not about being happy all the time. Love is the highest frequency. I say positive because that means you are in a positive charge. You are up close to that. Anything that's negative is really just further away. So align your thoughts with who you want to be. Write it down on a piece of paper if you have to. Really write down. Create that perfect vision. What does your life look like 5 years from now? How do you look? What do you have? What do people think of you? What do you think of you? Write that down. And then create how that person would operate every single day. How does that person think? How does that person act? And then become that person today. And then you're it. You see, it's not the things, it's the person that you're after. It's the state of being that you're after. If you're chasing things, you'll never stop chasing because a thing will never do anything for you because it's absent. You can't take it with you. It's only here for a moment. Nobody that has lived this life has kept anything that they've had. They've all died. So why is that your primary focus? Become something because you take that with you. If your idea of who and what's going to support you doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. If your idea of how something outcome is going to be doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. It only matters if you think and operate as you desire because that's the only thing you can truly control. That's the only thing you truly have is your internal state. Nobody can take away your internal state. Nothing can take away your internal feelings of who you are. You have complete control. You might go on a mission. You might go on a purpose and you think, okay, well, these people will go with me. This thing will support me. This will that. You have to remember you're seeing everything from your current vibration. So maybe it looks good there. That's why we create who you want to be. And you can use the things that they'll have as a guidance system, of course. Then think and act and focus solely on becoming them. Just as you have attracted your life now, you will attract your life then. So don't bring what is here there. Don't bring anything of what's here there. Just become you there and allow you there to attract what is meant to be there. That is freeing. That is operating in weightlessness. You don't have to pull anything. It's attracted to you. Align your mind, align your actions, and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a different perspective on whatever it is that you're going through. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It'll keep you up to date with every single episode. And if you want to follow me on social media, there's my Instagram and TikTok down below. I appreciate all the follows there as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.